During the Great Depression and World War II, photographers working for the U.S. government were assigned to travel the United States and document living and working conditions and later war production efforts. In 1939, the photographers began using newly introduced Kodachrome color film. Library of Congress curator Beverly Brannon tells us stories about the collection and the photographers.
We are in the center vault of the Prints and Photographs Division of the Library of Congress. The library has a collection of color photographs from the 1930s and 40s. They started as an experiment with color film. Kodak was just putting its color film on the market and sent it out to photographers, institutions, to give it a try to see if they could create a market for it. The pictures were free, so they were appealing to newspapers, magazines, publishing agencies, book publishers, that kind of thing. I was familiar already with the black and white photographs. There are about 171,000 Farm Security Administration and Office of War Information black and white photographs, and I had been working with those for a few years. There was not much emphasis placed on the color transparencies because they were hard to handle. They were unique items. There's only one of each at the time in the 1970s. It was really difficult to make a copy. It was very expensive to make a photograph. You had to make another print from the color transparency. People didn't want to pay that extra money. So these just sat on the shelf for a long time. And then Sally Stein, who's a photo historian, began doing a project about color film. She came to the library and wanted to see these color transparencies. I was one of the people who helped serve her. At the time, the library didn't have a way of making duplicates that was affordable for researchers. So she brought a photographer with her to help make copies on a stand set up in our division. And I became intrigued, began looking at them more and more, but initially I thought, these are interloper pictures. They don't really belong. It took a while for me to realize they did belong, that there are pictures made on the same outing, that the photographers would carry a 35mm camera, they would carry a Graflex, they would carry a Rolleiflex, and they would carry cameras loaded with color film, not just black and white, but they would use these interchangeably. So in some instances, there are black and white pictures that are near duplicates of the color pictures that you find online now in that 1930s and 40s set. One of my favorite topics is stores. Stores serve as community gathering places. They're equalizers. Everybody has to go to the store at some point. During the period we're talking about, the 30s and 40s, they were usually mom and pop type stores where the same owner, the same clerks were there year in, year out. People came, bought what they needed to buy, and usually had a chat about the neighborhood, the products they were buying, and some people would just hang out in stores before or after work, just stop by for a little community orientation. So I like that aspect of them. I also like the fact that many of them are quite colorful, that the stores are painted bright colors maybe to attract customers, to stand out on a block of otherwise brick or concrete buildings, and these were bright places that would attract attention.